It has been a while since I've spoken about Microdrone 4.0 on Geeksvana. To be honest, I've recorded 3 different videos over the past months, all of which remain on the cutting room floor. But now, we need to speak about this again. Later in this video, we're going to be bringing you an update on the legal action being taken against the company behind the Microdrone 4.0 campaign, including more than 30 settled cases, upheld county court judgments, and even a backer who was instructed a barrister. The reason for my recent silence and lack of content regarding the Microdrone 4.0 campaign is a little complex. I feel frustrated that we're unable to bring the backers of the campaign any true justice or group victory. Despite efforts by my channel and Ash over at Droning On to raise the profile of the failing campaign, including Ash gaining the attention of the BBC and Geeksvana writing a group letter to Indiegogo on behalf of hundreds of backers, it appears that the senior management of Indiegogo are, for some unexplained reason, unable to provide the support they promised to backers investing their hard-earned cash into a campaign on their website. Despite the fact that Vernon Kerswell, owner of the Microdrone 4.0 campaign, seems happy to use the Indiegogo brand to mislead the public into parting with their cash. I also feel angry. During 2020, I've got to know many of the backers. We correspond regularly via email and even over the phone. Their stories are all unique but share a common thread. They are people who were excited about investing in a project which promised to bring about an exciting little drone which would either introduce them to the hobby or further their interest in RC as a whole. Instead, they've been misled from the very first point of purchase. They have been fed a long list of excuses and, frankly, odd updates. For those watching who are new to this story, let me give you a very brief recap. Microdrone 4.0 is the Indiegogo campaign promising to deliver a small drone capable of capturing buttery smooth footage normally associated with high-end drones for a fraction of the price. In January 2019, the owner of the campaign, Vernon Kerswell, publicly stated in a promotional video that the drone was production ready. The same video showed the drone would have a 10 megapixel camera, something he now denies was ever promised. Now, in December 2020, Vernon has recently updated that they're still making changes to the airframe. That doesn't sound production ready, does it? Nearly 2 years later. In the description, you will find links to interviews with the campaign owner Vernon Kerswell conducted by Geeksvana. In them, there are many promises made in relation to the progress of the product. None of these have been met by Vernon. In the interviews, we quizzed Vernon on who the team was that he signs each update from. It turns out the names he was personally signing backers updates from were people who either left the company, were contractors, and in one case an intern who left the company a year ago. One important thing to get out of the way here is the whole concept of crowd-funded campaigns. When we are addressing the backers of this campaign, we're talking about an active group of people who knew what they were getting into. The backers knew that this is not the same as popping down to Best Buy and purchasing a drone. There is a risk with this type of campaign, and many genuine attempts to bring a product to market through crowdfunding platforms fails. Instead, with the Microdrone 4.0 campaign and the project owner Vernon Kerswell, the frustration is of the misleading of backers. Misled when they were promised specification, zero discussions or openness when these specs mysteriously changed. Misled when the campaign was moved from the official designation of a prototype to production, when clearly it is still not in production. So, the next question, refunds. If, as Vernon Kerswell insists, there are only a handful of unhappy backers, why not make the difficult but right choice to open refunds for a limited amount of time? Then move forward to complete the project with the backers who are happy to. According to Vernon, there are only a handful of backers, so why not? During our interviews with Vernon, he admitted that refunds were impossible because he had calculated so many backers would request a refund that the project would no longer be financially viable. Remember, we're talking about a campaign with an original goal in their own promotional video of $75,000, which has gone on to raise millions. Previously, I mentioned the project being moved from the official Indiegogo designation of prototype into production. This might seem strange to an outsider. Why would a campaign owner who just days ago was still discussing making changes to the airframe of his drone keep the project marked as production and therefore get a lot of pressure from backers disputing this? Why not simply move the project back to prototype and start an open conversation discussing the true position of the project? One reason could be the Indiegogo terms for campaign owners, where they are allowed to refuse refunds once production has started. So this has led to an explosion of legal action taken by individual backers against the company behind the campaign, Extreme Toys Limited, trading as Extreme Flyers. Geeksvana is aware of dozens of individual county court claims which have been settled in full by Vernon Kerswell. In the claims, the backers all allege that they were misled when originally purchasing the product and that the promises made by the campaign owner were not met. Be aware that despite the fact that Vernon publicly denies all issues raised by the backers, he has decided not to defend a single claim in court. Instead, he has used every tactic, including mediation and delayed responses, to prolong each court action. So we have a campaign owner who is happy on social media and even in video on this YouTube channel to ridicule backers who raise valid issues, including that of being misled from the first moment of purchase, essentially marginalising them as some tiny crazed group of individuals who are confused. Yet, when provided with the opportunity to defend the accusations in a public forum of small claims court, he decides instead to settle with the claimants and even place them under non-disclosure agreements. Essentially, the small claim route in the UK has become a valid way to gain a refund for many backers. This week, I have been in discussions with a UK barrister and can confirm that instructions from a Microdrone 4.0 backer have now been received to act on their behalf to gain answers and a legitimate refund from the campaign. This could be a benchmark moment in the fight on behalf of the backers. We will of course bring you all an update on this as and when more information is available. So we have UK backers, or those backers who can access a UK address, managing to gain effective refunds from Vernon Kerswell. However, what about the thousands of unhappy backers who are not based in the UK? There has been several discussions about the potential of forming a UK-based entity, address or legal group to help assist overseas backers to take their own legal action. Geeksvana can today announce that we are now moving towards a solution for this issue and would like to now invite any overseas backers to register their interest in being part of legal action to gain answers and a refund. This is being organised in conjunction with UK legal representatives, and anyone interested will get more information sent to them. To register your interest, please email in the first instance md4@geeksvana.com. Once we have an idea of initial numbers, the legal team assisting with this will make a formal offer to represent. It is important to stress that by doing this, Geeksvana is offering to be a middleman between backers and a UK route to justice. We're not offering legal advice, nor are we expert in legal matters. This is done out of frustration at seeing countless overseas backers seeking a way to address their loss through the UK court system, where the campaign owner is based. When I decided to make this video, we approached Vernon for comment on certain issues. It is of course important to offer an opportunity to Vernon Kerswell to reply to backers. The responses received are frankly absurd and typical of the nature of his correspondence with backers and media alike. Our original email posed some simple questions. Would you like to comment on why there has been no update on the IGG page in this cycle? Would you also like to make a comment with regards to when the MD4 will be shipping to backers? Finally, could you please comment on why to date your company has settled a significant number of county court actions? The only reply we received was this: "Hi Sean, everything is coming together and all in due course." We confirmed his non-answers in reply. This prompted another bizarre reply: "Hi Sean, that is not correct. I gave you a very specific answer to your questions." As you can see, he then repeats his sentence at the end of each question. So this is the extent of an answer Vernon Kerswell is willing to offer backers after 2 years of being misled. The fact that we are still in this position, where a YouTube channel is scrambling for action and attempting to gain some form of justice on behalf of unhappy backers, is incredible. We need to see some more action from Indiegogo, who are in a position of power right now. The last update shows the product is not in production, and you need to act to protect your backers. Finally, I would like to address Vernon Kerswell personally and appeal to any sense of decency that he has left. On your campaign page, there are now over 20,000 comments from backers. Many of these are complaints, which you dismiss as either nonsense or incorrect. Yet, when these exact same claims are put to you in UK small claims court action, you settle to seemingly avoid public hearings. In our last conversation on Twitter, you claimed the production and delivery of the microdrone was within 6 to 8 weeks of happening. This was more than 3 months ago, and no reasonable explanation has been made by you to your backers for the continued delays. To me, there is only 2 steps you should take right now. Put your campaign back to the prototype stage and allow those backers seeking a refund to apply without the need to enter into time-consuming and frankly unfair legal action. Invite an independent entity, perhaps an accountant, to come in and assess the state of the campaign and publish a brief summary to inform backers how their investment lays. I would remind you that you have a responsibility to those who trusted you with their investment. The way you have treated these people is disgusting. When a backer informed you in the public comments that they needed a refund as they were attending food banks daily just to survive, this was answered in the next comment by you offering a t-shirt prize for the 10,000th comment. A laugh in the face of the incredible levels of complaints and hardships suffered by backers. Vernon Kerswell, Director of Extreme Toys Limited, you are running a scam. It might not have started out that way, but through your mishandling of the campaign, it is now, with your last update, entered the realms of being a scam. I use that word because you are clearly in prototype stage still. Making changes to the airframe and the other recent changes you have reported shows the product is not in production. Your insistence that it is in production and therefore being unable to provide refunds is the actions of a scam. This is further enforced by the sheer amount of county court claims you have settled. You cannot publicly claim something which you consistently avoid answering in court, because that is misleading and therefore a scam. Do the right thing. Whatever the true position of the campaign right now, there is still routes which could bring you back from scam status. It is up to you. The next actions and steps are very important, and I implore you to do the right thing. Either way, please know that Geeksvana will continue to watch this campaign and help the unhappy backers in any way possible.
Please remember to like and subscribe.